Warning: the following show features foul language and crappy opinions said either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, the Riff Report and the producers must insist that no one attempt to repeat any vocabulary or shoot any malort featured on the show. Welcome to the Riff Report After Hours, the low-lightiest, dimmest, chillest corner on the internet. I'm Tyler,
And I'm Ryan.
and we've got a special episode in store for y'all. When you see this on today, being Friday, or whatever day you're looking at it on, we're celebrating Memorial Day. We are recording it on Memorial Day, so we decided to do something for it. We really wanted an excuse to get drunk and talk about Memorial Day music too, so here we are. So let's go ahead and cheers to all the fallen, to all the soldiers who are trying to not let's just take the shot real quick and then I'll explain through a burning throat. To all the fallen soldiers, to the people who support this country and our freedoms, we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for not following illegal orders and actually trying to support the freedoms of the American people and not the freedoms of the rich, elite, sons of bitches, cocksuckers that think they own and control everything and can do whatever they want. They suck. You troops rule. We appreciate everything you do. So thank you once again from the Riff Report. Let's so yeah, what we're gonna do today, after that heartfelt message, is curate a Memorial Day playlist. We're picking songs that may have some lyrics that touch on excuse me, the struggles of war, in the support or maybe not so supportive of. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about whether not necessarily whether it's good or bad, but we're gonna go ahead and bring up some music where bands talk about that and they put the words in our mouth for us, which is fine. Because if you watch the Wednesday episode, I make it really easy to maybe get us canceled. So the bands can take care of that for me today. Thanks, guys. But I am gonna go ahead and start us off, if you don't mind, Ryan. Just to make it
Take it
easy.
away.
All right, I will. It's gone. Have a seat. Thanks. Where am I taking it? I am starting us off with the song "The Longest Day" by Iron Maiden. We're talking about Memorial Day. We're talking about war. We're talking about soldiers. We're talking about all the struggles and everything. This is a song where Iron Maiden sings about the Allied invasion of Normandy on D-Day, and captures the brutal reality of landing on that beach through the eyes of a terrified soldier, and the horrors experienced, and just what they kind of had to go through. And I think Iron Maiden was a good choice to create this song, through the creative muses and everything. It's powerful. It I'm gonna say chugs along to a steady beat, much like the military does as they're marching. I think it's got a message. I was gonna say a good message, but I don't think it's a very good message. I think war sucks, and I think that was a very scary time to have to deal with. So, um, yeah, dude, I don't know. I felt like this was a perfect song to talk about. Maybe I blew my load a little bit early by bringing this one up, but um, yeah, I think it was perfect for this playlist. So, are you familiar
Yeah.
with the song? I'm sure you've listened to enough Iron Maiden over the years.
I have. I'm a giant Iron Maiden fan, so
Hell yeah.
yep, I knew this song, and I agree. The message, while it not be very glamorous, I think some of these stories need to be told in not the lightest of manners. Sometimes
Exactly.
I think it's easy for the United States to curate history books that shine a light on what we've done and portray us as always good.
Exactly.
And
Right.
that might be the case sometimes. It definitely was the case sometimes, but it's not always the
Right.
case all the time. And
Right.
I think the one thing that a lot of people miss when we are celebrating this day is that um the people that gave their lives for our freedom or to maybe obey orders from the piece of shit um people in charge,
Yeah.
they are people just like the rest of us, and they most of them experience the same fear and the same torment that we all do, but they are
Right.
put right in the action of a very terrifying situation.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, literally like the lyrics if I'm thinking we're trying to bring out some lyrics on this whole thing. Uh
yeah,
to turn men from flesh and blood to steel, from paper soldiers to bodies on the beach, from summer sands to Armageddon's reach. Overlord, your master, not your god. The enemy coast, dawning gray with scud. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit to the end of this stanza. The world's alight. The cliffs are erupt in flame. No escape. Remorseless shrapnel reigns. Drowning men, no chance for a warrior's fate. A choking death. Enter hell's gate. I think all of that perfectly encapsulates the fear, the fact that a lot of those guys were just kinda thrown into the mix of it, young, old, everything. This was World War II, you know what I mean? A very scary time in the world. And
yeah,
these are just a bunch of guys who, otherwise were fighting for the freedoms of the world at the time, but really didn't have a choice, but did what they had to make sure fucking people like me and you, s what, fuck, 82, give or take years later, can do what the fuck we're doing right now. You know what I mean? So,
yep,
once again, thank y'all for doing that, and Iron Maiden for perfectly encapsulating exactly the fear and the horrors and the shit that they had to experience. You know what I mean?
yeah, wholeheartedly agree.
Right.
All right. Well, as you alluded in the beginning, I didn't go as patriotic with this one. I have stuck to a theme of protest songs
Okay.
in honor of the people um, that gave everything for us.
Right.
Um, I don't mean to shit on anybody that was a part of these wars or anything like that. You were doing what
Exactly.
you had to do. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't agree with war. So,
I exactly, right. These were guys fighting in a war to prevent us from having to fight more wars. You know what I mean? And we
yeah,
appreciate that. That was the ultimate sacrifice. Right. Yeah.
absolutely. But my first song is American by Slayer off of their album World Painted Blood. Um, this song, it's heavy as fuck. I don't think you're going to be playing this playlist around your family. I think this is for us metalheads here, but
Right.
a this is definitely a protest song against war and what I assume would probably be the wars fronted by the Bush family in the Middle East. The way that I put that together is by this verse, which I will quote. The verse goes, "It's all about the motherfucking oil, regardless of the flag upon its soil. In a bloodbath, we pad our fucking greed. The price is high to maintain liberty." And that's the situation that we're going on right now. I mean, I know
Exactly.
that
Rinse and
there
repeat, dude. This is fucking ridiculous, right?
if you want my point of view, I think that we're in this war that we're currently in right now for more than just oil. I think
Mhm.
it's a pretty obvious diversion tactic to get us to look to the left when the real shit is happening on the right. But same thing. The only reason that we've ever attacked the Middle East is because of oil. And regardless of what anybody has to say, I mean, I'll come out right here and I'll just say fuck Israel. But the rest of the Middle Eastern countries, for the most part, they're minding their own business, and um, I think that the situation that we dealt with around 9/11 and with the Bush family, I think they used the terrorist in the Middle East as a diversion, a
Yep.
reason to go about this. I don't think that they were as big of a threat to us as it was let out to believe.
Right.
Um,
Oh yeah. There's proven. Honest to
but
God.
especially right now, I don't think Iran had any intentions on getting nuclear weapons. We signed a peace treaty from the Obama era with Iran to specifically prevent this. So it's all a bunch of fucking diversion tactics. And this song right here explains it in full.
Exactly. And here's the other thing on that. We're left off worse now than we were when that deal was in place, which is
Correct.
absolutely fucking ridiculous to think about. Like if things could have just been left well enough alone, yeah, they can spout what they want to say about America and everything. They want to our government wants to incite fear in us to justify what they're wanting to do over there, saying they call us the great Satan and everything. And maybe Iran and Iraq and these places are a little justified because we're acting like a huge devil in the fucking situation. Like maybe they were
Yeah.
right. If everyone else is an asshole, maybe you should look inwards. I'm just saying. That's the perfect thing to talk about in this
Yep.
situation. But yeah, and Slayer said it perfectly. Like it's fucking insane. The line, so here we live in a land of deceit that imprisons the minds of the weak. That's all I'm gonna bring up. Like that's what they like to do. That's what they've been working on for fucking what 40, 50 years since about 40 years since the Reagan administration, just breaking us
Mhm.
down since Watergate, just breaking us down, just throwing all kinds of shit out at the normal common person. So we don't know what's right or what's wrong, what's true and what's fake. And then they can
Yep.
justify doing whatever the fuck they want because we have all these billionaires that own the fucking media and can put out the stories that they want to make us believe that this is the right thing to do when killing people is not the right thing to do.
Nope.
It's always been the wrong thing to do. Let's all just coexist. Let's live our lives over here. Let them live their lives over there. And just shut the fuck up
Yep.
and stop bugging people. Like, stop killing people. That's the main fucking thing? It's fucking
I mean,
ridiculous.
at the end of the day, there are necessary things that I feel like we need to step into.
Hmm.
Nazi Germany, definitely one
Yep.
of them.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Yeah,
we want to take on North Korea. I think that's acceptable. You want to take on Russia. I think that's acceptable. Um,
exactly.
but just to fucking bomb kids in a Middle Eastern country because you
It's not
want
fucking
power
right.
over their resources. No,
Right.
I'm not playing that game. I'm not on board. I don't agree with it whatsoever.
Exactly. Right. So, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I thank you for that. Alrighty, I'm gonna move us right along to the next song. And sorry, y'all, for making this as somber as possible, but these are a lot of things that have been holed up in our brains, and I hope y'all either agree with us, and if you don't, that's fine. This is an open forum, and we're just trying to speak our mind and hope that other people agree so we can get to a point where we don't have to deal with mass killings and carpet bombing fucking schools and hospitals and shit like that just because we can. That's a ridiculous notion. Um
Mhm.
Next up I have the track 1916 by Motorhead. Starts off and honestly, kinda goes through it's not your typical fucking Motorhead, you know, Lemmy, really went out of his way to showcase the ridiculousness of war and the like I said, kinda like what I was talking about in that Iron Maiden track, like, what somebody goes through being stuck in that situation. It starts off talking about 16 years old when I went to the war to fight for a land fit for heroes. God on my side and a gun in my hand, chasing my days down to zero. We all volunteered and we wrote down our names. We added 2 years to our ages, eager for life and ahead of the game, ready for history's pages. This is a song about somebody young going into a situation like this, into a war type situation, and more specifically, the Battle of Somme and World War One, exploring the loss of young men, many of them literally half of my age, who volunteered and died in the mud, framing themselves as food for the gun. And it really just highlights the futility of war, um, as senseless, and you know, it's just the fact that we kind of mentioned this before we started recording, but like war pigs, what I mean, the whole line, generals gather in the masses, um, fuck, and I'm a little too buzzed. I can't remember all the lyrics. I'm sorry.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
System of a Down has a song. Why do they always
Yep.
send the
Why do
poor?
they always
Why
send
do
the
we
poor?
exactly? Why do they always send the common person? And we know why they do it. It's cannon fodder. It's for their justifiable or not okay, non-justifiable reasons, but it's for them to justify the reasons that they have behind a war or a skirmish or anything like that. So they can sit there in their ivory towers, in their white houses, in their
Yeah.
palaces, in their whatever, you know, and then they can just sit there and be like, well, it worked or it didn't work, but we did what we could and we fought really hard and we thank you for spilling blood for us. And that's absolutely asinine and a ridiculous reason. And we should be at a point now where we don't fight wars, where, you know, we should be over this at this point. Like, bloodshed is not appropriate. Sometimes if someone's attacking your freedoms, defend yourself. You know what I mean? I totally get that. But when it comes to first strikes, when it comes to, let's hit them before they hit us, that's
Unprovoked
absolutely
action.
ridiculous. Exactly. Yeah. Best way to describe it. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, if you need a sobering experience, outside of everything
Are
that
you
we deal with, because like I said in the past, this is an age of convenience. This is an age where we're so ingrained into our phones, into doom scrolling, into news. This is something that'll help you remember what people did for us to be able to do those kinds of things. You know what I mean? I'm looking at some
Yep.
numbers, and there were 19,000 British soldiers that were killed before noon in this skirmish. That's an insane amount of people. That's 10 times the amount of people that live in the city I live in right now. So that's an insane
Yeah.
amount of people to die for this situation. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
yeah,
Dude, the lines that really get me, and like you said, this is not a Motorhead track. This is obviously a statement track.
right.
But the line that really gets me, and I know this may be pretty depressing, but I feel like it's necessary for people to
Yep.
understand what these people go through. And The lines, "I heard my friend cry and he sank to his knees, coughing blood as he screamed for his mother. I fell by his side and that's how we died, clinging like kids to each other." That's
Exactly. These are
what
literal
we don't
children.
think about.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you're enlisting in the army at 17, 18 years old. You're able to go to war starting at 18 years old. Like the I remember myself at 18 and I was not anywhere near the mental capacity to be able to handle these situations. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine the people that were either forced to do this, because there's a lot of countries out there that force people to
Exactly.
serve some time
Almost
in their
I'm gonna say
military.
this, almost every other country besides the US has almost forced conscription. I had a buddy, have a yeah, I haven't really talked to him in a while, but, he pulls citizenship from Singapore, and when you turn 18, you go into the army, you spend 18 months there, and he even spent a little extra
Yeah,
time. It helped with pay and everything, but, yeah, from 18
right.
until 20, like, he was in the army, you know what I mean? We
Yeah,
have the selective service out here in the US where you're legally obligated to sign up at 18, and then when you turn 35 you're out of it. Um but exactly, yeah, lucky you do. I
that's
got a
me.
couple more years. But sucks to suck, they were talking about racing that up to like 42, dude, cuz they need more
Yeah.
bodies. So,
I'm
we'll
sorry, I
see.
have bone spurs.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. Hey, we got asthma, bro. I think we'll be all right. But
Yep.
Um, yeah, this is I'm not gonna say it's rough, but it is a heavy listen for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and it definitely does hit the nail right on the head. And showcases the people who, I mean, back in the day, like this is World War One, so this is like what the tens, you know what I mean, turn of the century. 1916, you know what I mean? Um this is when there was way less people on the earth, and these were people who understood the gravity of their situation and would ultimately do anything and ultimately volunteer to make sure that their way of life was protected. Um,
Yeah.
and that's a heavy toll to pay, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, don't forget about the song and don't forget about the sacrifices that these guys made. Um, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
right.
All right, next up, I got pretty heavy track for you. This one's by Lamb of God. I'm throwing in "Now You've Got Something to Die For." This song, killer track on its own. I've loved this album for a long ass time.
Right.
And obviously the sentiment has set with me until now. I just want to say I am very fortunate to have been a part of this hardcore and metal community that is very much against all of what we're talking about. Um, I've had the same stance since I was a kid, since I was in high school. Like I think that the more that time goes on, the more technology we have, the more knowledge at your disposal. We're supposed to be smarter. We're supposed to learn how to settle our differences outside of killing.
Right.
And that hasn't happened. We've gotten dumber and we've gotten lazier
Right.
and we've let people who have ulterior motives take over. Um, but the verse that I will recite from this song is pretty on point. Bombs to set people free, blood to feed the Dollar Tree, flags for coffins on the screen, oil for the machine, army of liberation, gunpoint indoctrination, the fire of sedation, fulfill the prophecy. now you've got something to die for.
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Pretty
I feel like
self-explanatory,
every
you know what I mean? It's you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's a little bit off of kind of what I was talking about with 1916, but not really. It's like we what
right.
we mentioned with Slayer, oil for the machine, flags for the coffins of the screen. Here's another lyric for you. Send the children to the fire. Sons and daughters stack the pyre. Stoke the flame of the empire. Live to lie another day. Like these are people that almost relish in the fact that they have just an indispensable amount of people to be like, "Oh, we wanna do this, so go ahead, die for the legacy of the empire," you know what I mean? Do it
Yeah,
for patriotism, do it for the valor of the country, you know what I mean? Your blood is what makes us the best, you know?
yeah,
And everyone's blood is equal, you know what I mean? We're all the same people. We all have the same insides, we all have the same brains, you know?
yep.
Outside of that, we all have different skin color, but we all have the same dreams. We all want peace. We all want convenience. We all want comfortability. That's what we all
I was
want,
gonna
down
I
here.
was gonna say, at the end of the day, white, black, brown, yellow, red, blue, green, gay, straight, trans, whatever the fuck you are, we're all the same.
Exactly.
And we're all just as valuable as one another. I mean, you can sit and you can blame people who don't contribute as much, but that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we're all just people at the end of the day and we all deserve the same shit that everybody else has. Um,
Exactly.
I mean, and that's like that goes back to like what Trump and JD Vance have been talking about, like population and reproduction rates are decreasing. And it makes sense because nobody can afford to fucking take care of children. And
Right.
not to mention, our world has gotten progressively shittier and shittier. Like, I can't imagine wanting to bring a new life into what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
But they are trying to get people to reproduce because one, they want consumers, and two, they want bodies to fight their wars.
Exactly. Yeah. And that sucks. As somebody without a child, I sure as shit don't want to bring a child into this and have them deal with whether I'm gone or when they become of age. I'd hate to see that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a father yourself. Like
Yep.
without, not trying to, you know what I mean? But like imagine like your son, like
No, I've thought about it. Yep.
20 years, you know what I mean? Like if they finally gain control and do what they want to do right now, there's going to be no choice. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's a very sobering, very depressive fucking thought. Like I think he's a chill
Nope.
guy who shouldn't have to deal with that at all. And I hate the fact that
Yeah.
that's a fucking possibility. You know what I mean? That he
Yep.
might have to deal with. So,
Nope.
yeah,
I'm raising the next John Connor, dude.
hell yeah. Sick. I'm glad to hear that. So, yeah, and I'm glad Randy took the time to write this song and get us to think about it, and every single band that we're listing on this point. This whole format today is just so different from our road trip playlist, you know what I mean? We're depressing all y'all motherfuckers, but I think we need to. We need to put our thoughts out there and y'all should too. Like we all need to think about this and think about getting it together and you know what I mean? Either
Rise above.
toppling the fucking current regime because if it continues the way it has been, we're all fucked, dude. So
Yep.
let's keep fucking protesting, keep putting your voice out there, keep talking about this shit. So the people that who did decide to spill their own blood to protect us to be able to protest and talk about this shit can have that good legacy and stop the wars, stop the violence, stop the hate, stop the killing, stop all of this. Like we don't need any more.
Yep.
Yeah. Alrighty, next up. This one is a little bit. I'm going into a little. I gotta find my playlist again. But I've got. Here we go. I've got "Take No Prisoners" by Megadeth. This one is outside of the last 2 songs that I had, just previously listed. This is an anti-war anthem from Megadeth on their album Rust in Peace. And this is one moment that I'm happy that Dave is out here talking about some shit. Um, let's see. We've got the lyrics. We're bringing up Normandy again. Going to war, give him hell. D-Day, next stop Normandy, beginning of the end. We know how to, and sure as shit will win. We've got. Hold on, there was a lyric in here. Here it is. Love and war. They say all is fair. Take his life, but won't take his hair. Your body parts, your country spares. By the way, son, here's your wheelchair. He once had to be all he could be. Now he's nothing for no one, nowhere to see. Funny thing, he's like you and me. It's a funny thing. Tears streak his solemn stare, abandoned for wreckage, nobody cares. I think this song really showcases the after effects of war and what happens, and the fact that, yeah, we have Veterans Affairs, we have Memorial Day, we have all these days to talk about, the people that sacrifice their lives and their limbs and their lives for us. But it kind of showcases the fact that that's about it. You know what I mean? We glorify the sacrifice and the service that they made, but we don't really help them. You know what I mean? Here's a wheelchair. Here's some shitty benefits. You know what I mean? Here's a little money here and there. You did what you needed for me. Now I'm done with you. And we see that a lot. Hell, they were gutting a lot of the fucking people that were working for the VAs, the Veterans Affairs offices and everything. And making things harder for them to get benefits, to get checks because they can no longer work. They don't have arms, they don't have legs, they have fucking PTSD, dude, seeing the fucking shit that they did in World War II, in Vietnam, in Korea. Um, yeah, it's absolutely fucking insane. So, like I said, this is just an absolute this is good for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely dig this track. But yeah, the message 100%. Um,
Oh yeah.
all right, I got one last track that we'll talk about real quick and then we will cut it for the day. Um, this track that I got is More War by Iron Reagan. And I think the title of the track speaks for itself. Um, more war, nonstop catastrophe, net profits soar, our business strategy. More war. Let's make more guns. Let's charge the poor. They'll never learn. Um, yeah, we've been saying it all night. This is just about feeding the war machine. And,
Yeah.
this is a constant problem that I've brought up to you, but specifically, there are people out there that somehow believe that war is good for us to maintain um, the market of our defense industry and keep the guns rolling. But um, war is not the way to handle that. There
That's
are
the
plenty
shittiest take
like
I've ever heard from anyone. When you told me about that, we were talking about this the other day. I was like, what the fuck Kool-Aid has that guy been drinking? That's so insane. Like, just flip the script on yourself. Imagine if you were that person who had to be in that situation. You would not want that. You know what I mean? And not you
No.
specifically, but the guy who fucking made that take. Like, that's what
Right.
you want? That's what you think is okay? Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
That is a crazy take, and I think that is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't I don't give a shit. Like, the amount of money that gets pumped into
Uh-huh.
our military and defense is already enough um to where they're I think they'll be fine. Like, yeah, you might not be making record profits, but you're sustaining just fine. We won't go without guns. We are the most heavily armed country in the world,
Exactly.
which brings it back to, like, we can't allow the idea of Iran having nukes, but we hold the most amount of nukes out of the whole entire world.
Yeah, I
So,
can have
like,
it, but you can't. It's like the kid
yeah,
at the playground who's like, "This is my ball, and you're not playing the way I want you to, so I'm gonna take this away, and nobody can play now." You know what I mean? But you still have the ball. Like,
right, right,
what you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? It's an insane
yeah,
fucking take. We spend the most money out of anybody on our military budget, but we can't afford to find out homes for the homeless. We can't afford to give food to
yep,
people. We
yep,
can't, you know what I mean? Like, we hate
yep,
socialism, but we love giving money to other countries to give them weapons too. And the whole
yep.
Iran Contra fucking like that's a whole headache and a half to fucking talk about. Like we love this business, you know what I mean? And I hate that for this country, you know what I mean? There's a lot of shit going on in the background that people don't immediately know, and I think we need to be a little bit more well versed on what's been going on for the last 40, 50 years. Like it's a rinse and repeat cycle, you know what I mean? So we can get that business strategy, so we can bet the lives of others on the next fucking thing, you know what I mean? Get more control, like hold on to our superpower that we don't fucking need. Nobody needs that, you know what I mean? It's one fucking planet. It's 8 billion lives. We're all doing our best to make sure we don't get hit by a meteor and fucking die because, I mean, that could happen. That's what we should be
Right,
worried about. You know what I mean? Just that off rip chance where we have no control over it. We have complete
right.
control over these wartime situations. Stop worrying about that and start making things a little bit better for everybody. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope that this was a nice depressing time for you guys to remember our fallen
You
troops,
know,
but
we said it was
we're gonna
fun, but it wasn't.
yep, we lied to you.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up for the night. You got a nice little set of tracks to check out, and we've got a handful more a piece to throw on this playlist, which will be available on Tidal for you. But for now, we're gonna wrap it up. And I'm going to ask the same thing that I ask every single time we sit here, which is please follow us on all of our shit on Instagram at the riff dot report, on YouTube at the Riff Report News, where we're putting out new episodes every Wednesday morning for your news and releases, and after hours every Friday at 6 p.m. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon in the corner so that you can get notified when we release new episodes. And check us out on Tidal for all of our fun little playlists like tonight. For now, stay loud, stay angry. And this one goes out to our fallen troops.